Ready to dive into one of the biggest mysteries in My Hero Academia? We're talking about the ultimate supervillain, All For One, a guy who's been causing chaos since Quirks first appeared. How has this walking embodiment of evil managed to stick around for over a century, defying death and constantly coming back to terrorize the heroes? Is he naturally immortal, or is there a trick behind his unending life? Let's break down the secret to All For One's unbelievably long life. So All For One has been a menace since the very beginning of the Quirk Era. Back when society was struggling to adapt, he was busy handing out quirks and pushing people toward destruction. During this tumultuous time, a man named Kyudai Garaki was born with a unique quirk called Life Force, which basically doubled his natural lifespan. Kyudai became a scientist obsessed with quirks, and he came up with the quirk singularity theory, which predicted quirks would eventually become uncontrollable. Society rejected his work, but All For One saw his genius and his theory, and took him in. Out of loyalty, Kyudai dedicated his life to serving All For One, and he made the ultimate offering, his own incredible quirk. Kyudai was able to create a copy of his Life Force Quirk and gave the original one to All For One. He then used the duplicate to maintain his own extended lifespan. This is the key. The Life Force Quirk not only doubles the user's lifespan, but also drastically slows down the aging process. That's why both All For One and Kyudai look so much younger than they actually are, despite being over 100 years old. While All For One seems immortal, he's technically not, as his longevity comes directly from this quirk. Now the Life Force Quirk does have a major drawback. It affects the user's movement. However, because All For One possesses a multitude of other quirks, he was easily able to use those powers to completely nullify the weakness of Life Force. Now you might have noticed that in the final war, All For One didn't just look old, he seemed to transform back into his prime physical shape. This is an entirely different power-up, and it's not from the Life Force Quirk. It all connects back to the quirk-destroying drug created earlier in the story by Kichisaki. Once again, Kyudai Garaki was the one who came through, reverse engineering that drug to create the one-of-a-kind rewind drug. While the original drug was designed to erase a quirk, the rewind drug reverses all kinds of injuries and critically, de-ages the user. All For One took this drug when he was nearly killed by Endeavor. The catch with the rewind effects is that they can't be stopped, meaning All For One will continue to de-age until he eventually ceases to exist. It's like the reverse aging you see in the curious case of Benjamin Button. He's been rapidly de-aging during his intense battles, such as the one with Armored All Might, as he pushes his body and quirks to the absolute limit. All For One always seems to have a quirk or a countermeasure for every problem, thanks to his loyal servant Kyudai. Whether it's using the Life Force Quirk for near-immortality, the rewind drug to regain his youth, or even using a quirk called Antigen Swap to change his blood type and counter Stain's blood curdle quirk, he always finds a way.